Hello everyone, welcome to this video. I hope you're all doing great. Okay, as the title says, as the thumbnail says, we are going to discuss how or why do so many kids hate mathematics? Like, how is it even possible to hate a beautiful subject like mathematics? Now, it is not just about kids. It actually we see in adults as well. Even now when I go to some chai in the evening with my friends, if they are not from mathematics background, someone is software, that this any other field, they will, if I bring something about mathematics or my teaching career or anything, they'll go like, oh, come on, how do you do mathematics all day long? That is such a boring subject, or I just hate the subject. That starts from the childhood itself. The childhood, if you are being forced to do things which you don't like, of course you will be, made to hate that topic. So, is it really because mathematics is difficult, or is it mainly, I think it is my opinion, that it is mainly because we are not teaching it the right way. Kids need to be taught mathematics the right way because kids are inherently very, very curious. They want to learn different things, and mathematics is a very logical and very puzzle like a thing. Now, when you have something very puzzling, it is always captivating to the kids because it is like a game. Mathematics is a game. Mathematics can be your best friend. Now, mathematics must be your best friend if you want to build something based on logic. It is not just because of sciences. In science, definitely there is mathematics. In physics, chemistry, even in biology, in any science, there is mathematics involved. But what mathematics does is unlock the thought of science. Science is not simply about formulas or theories or whatever. It is about thinking, it is about experimenting. In science, you will see experimentation, and even in mathematics, you will see experimentation. If you want to solve a question, you look at it and see how many ways I can, manipulate some expression or get it in some way so that I'll be able to solve it. So at the end, mathematics is the foundation of science. Even in social studies, if you're doing history or anything in the future, you'll see that the science, it requires science. It requires the thinking. Okay, if this happened, then this must have happened. That is a logical statement. If this, then this. That is a logical statement. Now, if that has to be developed in the later on age in your life, that has to be developed in the childhood age itself. When the child is young, these qualities have to be imbibed in them. Now, first of all, let's look at two reasons which makes kids hate mathematics. Why do kids hate mathematics? Number one reason is obviously, if you think about it, mathematics becomes just memorization. In school, think about it, in school, kids are taught formulas. Okay, a plus b is this, or something plus something is this. If they are simply formulas, if they are simply symbols which they cannot relate with, if they cannot experience in their life, then it becomes a memorization, it becomes a rutto thing, and kids won't enjoy that. Nobody enjoys that. Admit it, gentlemen and ladies, right? And predictable questions, you're given a formula and then you solve a problem which is directly based on the formula. There is no thinking involved. Now, when the kids are naturally curious. They want to ask, okay, why did this come? Why did this happen? Why do we get 2 plus 2 equal to 4? Like, what is that? Right? How did we arrive at this conclusion? What is the history behind it? How did we get here? All of this, kids are naturally very, very curious. Trust me. And that is how they evolve. That's how the thinking evolves. Now, if you are not able to see the bottom line, that is, mathematics shouldn't be about remembering, it should be about thinking better. Kids should be asking, what if this happens? What if I change this parameter? What if I do that? What if I do this? How is this whole thing changing? It is a beautiful thing. All right. Now, reason number two why mathematics is being hated by kids. I'm bad at mathematics because I made mistakes. Like I'm not able to do. It's not my thing. How do you even decide? You are a little kid, right? A little kid cannot decide. This is not my thing. Little kid has potential in every bloody thing. All right. A difficult question. If he gets a wrong answer, he says, "I cannot do this." That is not how mathematics works. All right. So, uh, so you have to think of it like your close friends. Let's say you have a close friend who is you. Let's say he's mad at you, right? How do kids do this? How do they go to this friend and the kid says, please, okay, what did I do wrong? Why are you mad at me? And so on and so forth. He wants to make friends and he will plead. So if you get a question wrong, you have to plead with that. You have to play with that. You cannot just say, okay, this fellow has become my enemy. No, that's not how it works. You have to make peace with it. You have to make friendship with it. All right. And that's how friendship evolves. And that has to be done with every subject. I'm not just talking about mathematics. It has to be done with every single subject. Now, um, I'll give you another example later on. All right. What if math was like a puzzle game? Um, Now, so another example, another analogy I wanted to give was that if you think of mathematics like pleasing your mother, right? A problem is like your mother is mad at you and you want to get your mother's attention. You want her to love you back. What would you do? You'd go and please, mommy, I'll never repeat this again, mommy. I'll do something again, mommy. So you'll plead in multiple ways. That is what solving a problem becomes. If you are not able to solve a problem immediately, you'll take time with it. You'll plead the problem, not, of course, not pleading the problem. Okay, get solved, please, please, please. No, that's not how it works. You have to plead with problems in a different way. So you have to search for, okay, what did I change? And you can look at the solution and you'll see that, oh, this is the step I missed. That is how you play with mathematics. That is how you solve a puzzle. If you enjoy solving puzzles, mathematics is just like a puzzle. Why does this not work? Can I find a different way? What happens if I change this? Can I solve this without a formula? So you have to find out your own ways. I have one principle in my life in mathematics. I teach this to my students that if you didn't prove a formula, you don't have the right to use it. So I always make sure kids must prove the formula which they are using, right? So that is very, very important. And mathematics is definitely a puzzle in that sense. Um, and when it is puzzle, it becomes thinking and not memorizing. That is one thing. All right. And apart from that, you'll see that mathematics becomes very fun. Mathematics is super fun. Now, this is where the love for mathematics begins. All right. So in Vedantu Olympiad School, we are focusing now we are trying to focus on the junior section because this has to begin when you are a small kid. As small kids have the infinite potential in them, they have the energy in them, they have the curiosity naturally filled, right? I hope the curiosity is not dead by watching reels at this age. I'm just hoping that very positively, and if that is happening, then that is one very unfortunate. As a parent, you should take care of that. Now, young learners easily develop these things, whatever is written here: logical thinking, problem solving skills, curiosity. Young kids have curiosity very naturally, they're filled up with that, and mathematical confidence. So this confidence goes a long way, I'm telling you. This confidence goes till your rest of your life. I mean, you'd be so confident on pen and paper that that will reflect in your daily life. I have seen this. I've seen this in my life. I've seen this in many of my friends. All right. Now, how are these sessions happening? So this is basically, this is the pitching of the session begins now. That each session for grade 6 to 3 to 6 is 60-minute long. In those 60 minutes, you have 40 minutes of core um, concepts, right? Core concepts, 10 minutes of brain puzzles, 10 minutes of speed maths. And for grade 7, you can see uh, 60, so total 90-minute thing. And you are learning it for 60 minutes and 15 minutes. Advanced puzzles, 15 minutes, speed puzzles. Now, it is not that they are segregated like this. Okay, it is just a distribution which is going to happen in a very uniform way. A concept is taught, related puzzles will happen, related quiz will happen. So under time pressure, how is the child performing? This is what we check in the class itself. Best thing is that the child can immediately ask, immediately see how his friends are doing. So there is a competitiveness which develops inside, which is a very healthy thing. I make sure in my classes that students are getting competitive in a healthy way. They are not saying, oh shit, I'm getting this wrong. No, they're not saying that. Or, oh, this fellow is doing so bad, or this fellow is doing so good. If they do, I scold them in the class itself. So I personally, and I'm I'm telling you, when I am doing it, I joined like 1.5 years ago. My senior teachers, whoever is here, Parveen sir, Chetan sir, Abhay sir, they are much more experienced. They deal with kids. We all deal with kids in a very beautiful way. They are encouraged to ask questions, any type of questions, easy, difficult, doesn't matter. A question is a question. If they have a doubt, it has to be clear. Now, that's what we ensure in these sessions. I hope that part is clear. What is a logical brain puzzle? Just think about it. It can be a number puzzle, Sudoku. Sudoku is a logical brain puzzle. These things we include in classes, not Sudoku especially, but we'll make a tree diagram or something. We will try to make sure the kid looks at patterns. All right, those patterns may be in shapes, they may be in numbers, in different way. So that is what is ensured in these sessions. And these can be practiced at home. If the kid plays chess, brilliant. If the kid plays Sudoku, brilliant. Any type of logic puzzles. There is some games about arrows. How do you get the arrows outside the thing? It's a beautiful thing. So these kind of things you may play. Now, after the sessions are over, outside the session, there are 10-minute self-evaluation tests. The child can do that for himself. All right. Now, the self-evaluation tests are there. Immediate feedback report, right? After every test, how is the child doing? The feedback comes up. How many questions gotten right? How many wrong? Which topic is weak? Which topic is strong? Everything is analyzed. We send questions personally in the groups, right? There are immediately after sessions, there will be assignments, there will be time to time puzzles, right? So these kind of things are definitely there. Now I want you to look at this slide very carefully. I'll try to get out of the screen. So try to focus there. Grade. So grade wise, we have distributed the sessions. All right. So please pause the video and please look at it very carefully. So for each grade, you can have so weekend sessions or weekday sessions. All right, weekend sessions are happening on Saturdays, Sundays. Weekday sessions are happening on different days. You can look at that in the grid, this column itself. All right. So I hope this structure gives you an idea about how these batches are going to be conducted. Now, what do we have in these batches? It is not simply the classes which I told right now. Apart from that, the highlights, we have additional session for grade 3 to 4. So SOF IMO preparation classes, additional sessions are going to happen. And SOF IMO plus NMTC is going to happen. NMTC session exams start from 5th grade. 5th, 6th are NMTC primary. 7th, 8th are NMTC sub-junior. 9th, 10th are junior, which we have conducted so far. I've been teaching them. I'm so eagerly waiting for the results. And those classes will be included. And like NMTC is going to happen this year at the end of this month, 30th August. So you guys see, these are additional things which the child is going to get if you take these batches. 45 plus live sessions, practice tests are there, WhatsApp group is there. All these I have mentioned before. The group is not only for puzzles or information passing, it is also for if you have any issues, if you want to communicate something, if the student wants to ask doubts, that can also be done. So a direct interaction with the team is provided. Okay, and that is 24/7. You can, whenever you want, you can message, and we will reply to you. We will take care of your issues as soon as possible. So monthly performance report card, all that is done. Okay, the batch is structured in 5 modules. Okay, what are the 5 modules? They are invariably around. They are dependent on number theory, algebra, arithmetic, geometry, and combinatorics. These are the 5 things which we will cover, because I'm not sure if you know this. Olympiad is based on these topics. Olympiad examination. These are the foundation of mathematics, pre-college mathematics at least, because after college there is something called calculus, which is a whole new branch in mathematics. All right. So before that, whatever you have is these 4 to 5 topics. Mathematics stands on this. These are the foundation pillars of mathematics. So the kids will be developing these. Why is this important? Okay, first of all, let me just go through what is written here. Modules are fully independent of each other. Okay, full new admissions open before every module, so they are independent. So arithmetic and geometry obviously don't have anything to do with each other. Even if any formula is repetitive, for example, in algebra and arithmetic, some things may be repetitive. I will make sure that that will be done again and again. All right. So these things are ensured, so nothing will be left out for any student. So, and repeated batches will be started, so nothing to be worried about. Okay, what else do we have? One module will be finished in 1 month, 8 core classes plus one discussion class. Very good. So these things are usually there in all the batches. I'm sure you'd have seen the other batches stuff. But either way, how will this develop your child? This is very important. Obviously, the school marks will improve, conceptual understanding will improve. We'll go in depth into each subject. Whatever the level of the student is, we will maintain that, and we'll go in depth as much as possible. Now, how will that help? If there is depth understanding, the curiosity is quenched. When the curiosity is quenched, the child knows why exactly a formula is being used, the speed increases. There is a direct correlation between the depth of understanding and the speed and accuracy of problem solved. Of course, it requires a lot of practice that has to be practiced again and again, but I promise you that that will directly have an impact. The understanding will have direct impact on the accuracy. Then the mistakes won't happen because the child will understand how to navigate with the problem. So when that happens, there is almost no chance of making a mistake unless the child has not listened to the class properly. So the child has to be paying attention, and we will make sure that the classes are fun and these puzzles, these games. The whole point is that the child is attached to the class throughout the session. All right, and I love playing with these in this way. Even though it is online, we try to keep them engaged as much as possible. Okay, logical thinking ability, confidence in competitive exams, long-term Olympiad foundation. Now, what is this long-term Olympiad foundation? This is so what we do. In case you know this, there is something called IOQM examination, which is for this year. It's going to happen on 6th of September. That is the official Olympiad, which will lead you to different heights in mathematics. That starts from grade 8. We have senior Olympiad batches going on. So that is definitely, I'm sure you are aware of it. But the main thing you need to know if you don't know about IOQM is that it will take you to different heights. The thinking capability is very different. After IOQM, you'll go to RMO, INMO, IMOTC. So there are different stages. If you clear INMO, you'll get direct admission to various institutes in India. Indian Statistical Institute takes them. Many IITs take them. So there are numerous possibilities which can start now itself. If they are in third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, these grades, they can develop the qualities which are required later in their life. So that is the point of these sessions, that we will nurture the thinking capability in a way which will be lifelong lasting. All right. And I I remember that only one or two of my teachers in my childhood were like that. They were engaging and they were teaching me how to think, and that has had a long term impact in my mind. All right, so that's what I am trying to bring. I am trying to replicate those teachers whom I have been taught from. It may be in my childhood, and even when I was doing my bachelor's and master's in Indian Statistical Institute. Crazy. That is a very fun journey to be in, and if a kid is able to enjoy studies from the childhood, there is nothing better, in my opinion. All right, so enroll right now. Please check the description and make sure read all the details. If you have any query regarding this, you can comment in under this video. And if you have any further query, you can make the call. All the details are available. We want you to feel secure while you're doing this. So that will be ensured, nothing to worry about. So links are in the description. Please go and check them out. Thank you. Take care. Good day.